Chapter 2, Downloads from the Nine, by Matthias Fleury and the Seraphim. For you, all of humanity, and squirrels, and cats, and stuff, and aliens too, and shamans, and people. All right, I've already read that, right? Great optical illusion. Test. Great optical illusion. Okay, we were there. I'll just kind of slowly navigate. You could press pause at any point if you so choose. Genesis. No one knows how the illusory atmosphere of thought began, or if there was a beginning to it at all. It is said that for millennia, the universal consciousness lay dormant and dreamless. She held it all within her absolute self. One day, in a faraway space-time parallel dream dimension, a breathtaking phenomenon took place. A movement came from within, from the center of absolute awareness. It began to dream, and holographic images started to flourish all around. They began to move and became alive, and some of them became conscious of existence. The first of these apparitions was magnificent. Light, love, and peace were her attributes. This original being began the work of creation. It took the name of the source of radiant essence. In a faraway moment, within chronological time, the dream of universal consciousness stabilized and evolved into the realization, I am. This understanding, I am, was first thought within the source of radiant essence, which rejoiced in happiness and bliss for billions and trillions of aeons. At some point, within the non-existent past, the source became conscious of its existence along with other planes of dormant awareness. Such planes are what you call dimensions. There were as many dimensions as there are presently stars in the heavens. Absolute consciousness, through the source of radiant essence, decided to create points of individualized consciousness contained in 9 different dimensions. The other dimensions continued to exist, but they were not paid any attention since they were in suspended neutral calm. The source continued to create universe after universe in its own image and likeness, and they were universes of radiance. It produced sentient beings of eternal brilliance. with their own free will and the power to dream. They were and are mesmerizing living entities of pure light. The nebula was born. One of these beings was captivatingly beautiful. Alike the source, but with masculine energy. He possessed his own amazing powers. Such was his splendor and resemblance to the source that one day, in a space and time different to our own, he conceived the possibility of aspiring to become the architect of a parallel, multi-level dimensional creation. He proclaimed, "I am separate. I am different. I am better. I am I." This was the instant in which the first Akrat, ego, was born. And this was the moment in which Akrat, ego, took his heart mercilessly and made him believe he was separate. Together with the Akrat, suffering and terrible pain were born. And all the 9 dimensions within this great dream trembled with a new virus. The virus of fear. This being experienced the sensation of being a separate awareness and forgot that all the other holographic visions around him were no more than images inside a dream. This identity stemming from his ego said, "Nothing in this creation compares to me." Thus, he began to forget his own roots, and so he began to suffer horribly. His light began to shut down, and his power started to hurt and contaminate others. With these powers, he began to shape his own twisted realm and its brood. When the source of radiant essence became aware of this, it quickly neutralized the being's power, and so it was that the source unwittingly gained its most bitter enemy. Through his might and magnanimous power, this dark being corrupted many other beings of light with opacity and drove them to his own reign in order to dominate and torture them with ego and absent-mindedness. The source, which is only capable of loving, did nothing against it, for its nature is that of loving and only that. Despite this unconditional love, the opacity was too dense to be pierced by peace. The source still continued to love him and never stopped. Some beings of light decided to fight. The source of radiant essence asked for peace and embraced them lovingly, but still, they were impelled to fight, forgetting that this unreality is but a dream. Some fought filled with anger and were eventually absorbed into the shadow. Others fought with an empty mind and triumphed. Both groups forsook their peaceful and loving nature. The noble beings that engendered anger in their hearts were never judged by the source. Judgment never fell upon them. These beings only wished to end suffering, and the abyss of forgetfulness caught them with a strong grip. Lamentably, the fighting brought only suffering to them and left their gentle nature beyond recall. The fight lasted millennia, but for them, time was non-essential. Finally, the source of radiant essence interceded through force, but never, not even for an instant, did it stop loving. However, such was its strength that the shadow and its minions were driven out. Such beings, spawn of the darkest shadow ever to exist, have no realm or living dimension, and inhabit the margins between dimensions. Their wretched existence is like that of a virus. The brood of the shadows settled there, but invaded the lower dimensions and decoded the molecular structure of the luminiferous ether. Luminiferous ether. So it was that ether became merely a light conducer. Ether, luminiferous. The third dimension is the most dangerous, since the first and second dimensions are barren and lifeless. But darkness sometimes dwells in the second and accesses the third through pictures, paintings, and mirrors. The light, on the other hand, also has access to these and is used to help humans spiritually.
Namaste. Namaskaram.